Welcome, Excellency, to our show Diplomatica. This is Shamim, and we would like to ask you the very first thing: what are the achievements so far you have made since you are appointed in Islamabad?
First, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for the opportunity to this interview. And as for the achievements, we can say achievements, or not my achievements, but maybe the achievements of our both countries and our both governments. And there was, since my arrival here, I would underline first place there was last year the visit to Portugal by the Minister of Ports and Shipping. It's a very important area for us, for Portugal. We have a long coast, we have important ports as well, and there are several opportunities raising in this time, because also Pakistan is investing a lot also in their coastal area and also in important ports. Anyway, further to that, there was the year started with a seminar on Pakistan economy organized in Lisbon by our Trade and Investment Agents, AICEP. Further to that, I would say there was a political aspect. There was some delegations of the Federation of Chambers of Commerce of Pakistan that visited Portugal. Some Portuguese businessmen came here during this period, and also politically we had the meeting of our both Prime Minister of Foreign Affairs. Sorry, they met under the auspices of a multilateral event in Mongolia, and after we had our bilateral talks between our ministries of foreign affairs, and so that was. Already this year, what I could register while we await other events that will take place for sure, but we had this year we had the visit to Portugal of His Holiness the Pope Francis to commemorate 100 years of Fatima, of the apparitions of Fatima, and the Portuguese Catholic Church invited the then Minister for Human Rights, Senator Cameron Michael, and they went to Portugal officially, of course, invited by the church, and participated in that important ceremony to us, and where also we had the opportunity to meet informally our Prime Minister and to change some ideas about bilateral relations. So I think that shows that we have many things that we can do together. We can cooperate in many areas, and I look forward that will be the way in next years to come.
Excellency, would you like to mention the increase of the volume in trade between two countries in the recent years?
Well, I'm not so pleased with that aspect. Of course, there are increases in some areas, but not in other areas. So we have. We had an increase in some happened last year in 40%, but not completely in the global. Maybe there was not really an increase, is a liquid increase. So we should keep on working on that, and we should, because I think the Pakistani market has a lot of potential, even for the products that we deem as our natural products like olive oil or cork or whatever, and also to begin to have some investments, productive investments in Portugal, in the food sector and others. So there's something that occurred recently, that I've been to the launching in Portugal of a Pakistani factory that now is enlarging its investment already. And so that there are all these investments also in real estate by the Pakistanis under this golden visa scheme, and so it's.
Other than this, would you like to comment on the BRICS about the recent decision by the UK has made to exit from the European countries? What is the effect of the Brexit on European countries?
Well, the effect we're going to see still. They're still negotiating. In first place, I think we should respect democracy. We should respect the will of the UK people, the people of the United Kingdom, it's their decision, free decision. We respect that. Of course, we'd like to have the possible agreement with them after they leave Europe, but we keep on the best cooperation we can have with them. Because of course, and I would like to say that something is mentioned also as but UK is our first ally and our oldest ally of Portugal. We have a military alliance from the 14th century, so it's we have been close. So for us, it's a very important reference in our diplomatic relations.
You know, after US election, US president has refused to commit himself to the Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty. What do you think? Does the EU has to develop more strong and effective relation with the EU?
Yes, I think it's unavoidable that we should keep on also to Portugal, to EU or to NATO countries. Of course, the EU, United States are a very important partner. It's a very important partner, and so therefore also, and so I cannot comment in some precise questions, but the idea, yes, we should look forward to continue to cooperate in everything.
Coming back towards Pakistan, what step are you going to taking to strengthen Pakistan-Portugal relations?
Yes, we should keep on with our political institutional relations cooperation. I would mean between ministers of foreign affairs in the area of port and shipping, between our parliaments. That's very important. We have a parliamentarian friendship group that, and I hope that will bring fruits to our relation. And also in the cooperation between universities, in academic fields, people to people also, between youth association. There are already some have been also this year. Some invitations to Pakistani youth to participate in the events in Portugal, and also women empowerment. We can cooperate in many areas, sports, so many things. There are many things we can do together, because I think that Pakistani and Portuguese, they go well along together. They understand each other and have a natural relation.
What are the attractions for the Pakistani businessmen in Portugal?
Well, they have, as you see, there was now this kind of investments. Because there are some products from Pakistan that we buy already. The quality of fabrics and cotton, and of course the Sinsevra, of course. There are the things like fruit you can buy. There's a thing that is very much appreciated, which is the rice. You have rice of a high quality, is very much appreciated there. You can sell more, and also, of course, there is also the imports that you can have from there in many areas. Also some machinery, also some business partnership to produce in order with our machinery, with our know-how in some areas like textiles or others like. Minerals like marble to extract marble, that we have also a big experience now and so in many areas we can cooperate. But also I think that there is an attraction there because life in Portugal is not so expensive. People are nice, and Pakistan, I hope they live well there and that they have a good time there, and so that's an attraction as well.
Excellency, you have mentioned people-to-people contact and the bilateral trade. Number of Pakistani businessmen are interested to go in and invest in Portugal, and since you are here, you have developed some sort of association like Pakistan-Portugal Business Association and some sort of other councils. But unfortunately, they are not in working right now, if I'm not wrong. So what are the reasons that people have taken interest in developing business relation? So, but it is not up to that mark, or what are the reasons behind it?
No, but I think that this process goes on, and it was never stopped. For example, now that it was finalized, although it was always created in Portugal the Pakistan-Portugal Business Forum by Portuguese and businessmen and the Pakistanis. Of course, there is this business council and the federation of. For
Is it
example,
still working on business?
yeah, I hope
council?
that at least it's still existing because it was legally created.
Okay.
And of course, there are businessmen also. There are, I think it had the advantage and also we should recognize it launched the economic relations, because after it's the business council creation, the IICEP, so our trade investment agency, invited them to organize in Portugal in January last year. So it was the chairman went there, but after that many things happened in this area. And so after we had the visit by the president of the Federation of Chambers of Commerce, individual trips by several businessmen, there were many contacts. So the process going on. Even now, I went to Portugal for holidays, and I was invited for this launching of the Pakistani factory, and one day after was invited by a business lady from Pakistan that opened her office in Lisbon and invited me and the Pakistani lady ambassador together to a Pakistani restaurant there, together also with some Portuguese businessmen, we were around 10, 12, to commemorate and also to socialize. And so it was, I think that means something, of course. Things are happening.
There are also reports that Portugal is offering some kind of residence visa to the businessmen if they invest some certain amount in Portugal. What is this is exact story? How much the amount is exactly required to invest there?
Well, that I wouldn't enter in details. Yes, it is. It's called generally more in the golden visa. But if you go to my embassy has a site, official site, and there you find all that information. If you go to Economic, it's also in English, in Portuguese, in English, but you find it in English, and you find all very detailed, all that information, all the context. Yes. There is a certain amount, and you can enter that program to the leads. Well, and lastly to the nationality, Portuguese nationality, residence in the nationality, but also, of course, normal investor in Portugal that pays taxes and is legal there. Finally, you'll get also some recognition. Of course, he'll be also in a way you'll have. So there is this amount, I think, €500,000, but also
€500,000.
Yes.
Okay.
But for some categories, there can be less for others. But also a normal investment is welcomed. For example, these kind of investments that I mentioned, they are much larger, and it was not with the purpose of the golden visa. No, the factory or something is not. It's just because they decided to invest there.
So, Excellency, with this reference, number of investors would be interested to invest and go there. So what are the relaxations, or what are the attractions would you like to give to those investors, and how would you accommodate all these people in Portugal?
Well, normally now what I notice is that many Pakistani are visiting Portugal as tourists. They go there to go around to see sites. Very diverse, although we are small, as very diverse. We are also some Muslim influence, because the Muslims have been there in our territory many centuries, no? And so they still find some interesting points, a mixture between our cultures, the culture of the European, Northern Africa, and so we are a bit open to other continents, no? And so and after that, of course, they can also, if they are businessmen, they can check some opportunities for business there, but there are many going, and I'm glad, I'm proud of it. Some go for golfing. We have very good golf courses. They are good, and I can tell. And some go for the cultural, some go for the seaside, some go to the for I don't know. So we can have the mountains, the valley, the valleys. They have a very diverse landscape, and so and well, the feedback is also always good. I have today one a friend of mine, a Pakistani, has been, I think he's still there in Lisbon, and it sent me a WhatsApp message. He has been playing golf there, outside Lisbon, and then sent me that. No, I like very much, but it was fine. There was 5 o'clock in the morning. Here was 9, so I don't know what he's been doing during the night. But he sent me. But he was having a very good time. So I'm pleased, and I'm honored, and because it's my country, and we can host our friends from Pakistan.
Excellency, you have presented a very good picture of Portugal as for the tourist as well. But it's very unfortunate that the number of tourists are facing problem in getting visa, not only visa but also for before submission of their papers. So how would you like to handle it? Because there's a number of applicants who are still waiting for their.
No, well, I would say first place that this embassy, we don't issue visas. The visas are are issued in Lisbon by the by the government, and electronically we are informed about that the visa was approved or refused or whatever, and we print. I cannot print a sticker without approval. It's impossible. So what happened? I think that because normally they travel with Schengen visas, and Schengen visa is a complex process, and I think many times people they don't understand how it works. Because of course it involves many countries, and it's not so complex to prepare a file, but it should be well prepared. And there are things that the people should submit that sometimes they don't, and after this also delay, and sometimes that leads to refusal. But I think we can the better people understand the process itself, what they should do, what they shouldn't do, and they should be in good faith. Because if someone does something that after is not attested that is true, has problems in his record, so it projects itself in the future. That happens now. Many refusals are not because we are doing now, but what they did some years ago. And so I also advise, and we try to help people to prepare a good file and advise them in advance about the possible outcome. And because of course my wish is that many people will go, because also to help, because the embassy is a service, it's to the people. We are serving the Portuguese, of course, but also everybody, and here also the Pakistani. So we don't create difficulties, but this is a legal process we should follow.
Recently, a private news channel has reported that one of PMLN parliamentarian is trying to get visas through different processes. Would you like to comment on it?
Well, I don't know because probably I was not here. But I would say that, of course, we don't.
The Swiss embassy has issued an email about that guy as well.
That I don't know, but we don't judge people. And we don't. And what I would say that our visa submission, the visa applications, are evaluated in Lisbon one by one. It's not a group. It's not someone that recommends. So that doesn't work like that. So each one is a different applicant. And of course, I don't know. We deal with applicants. We don't deal. You see. So I don't know what that means, and of course but of course any application received and we submit to Lisbon electronically, it's one case. So there's not groups or someone dealing with groups. So it works like that. It's very actually I would say it's very difficult to influence a visa. It's almost impossible because they check everything in Lisbon, and they check with the other authorities, and this check by all the Schengen countries. and also with some other countries.
The report mentioned that he was involved in other European countries, Asian countries, but particularly he mentioned one of your staff member in that report.
Oh, actually, I don't know, but that I would say that the only very few people, actually only myself, we have a consul, and he deals with visas, and only him normally has access, and it's very difficult to influence. So the staff members, they don't have access to this system, and also even if they had, they wouldn't be able to influence because the decision is taken there, and all the documentation is cautiously checked by the police. And so I think this news, okay, sometimes I news and
Anyway, Excellency, there's a great scope in developing sports and business relations and cultural between two countries, and very obviously you mentioned about the business as well. So what step are you going to take, or have you taken in this regard to develop cultural and sports cooperation between two countries?
No, that's very important. That aspect is very important, and it has been mentioned to me several times. And after I'll come back to that, but I would say that we have a cultural agreement that comprehends that area also. Now we're trying to renew it according to because meanwhile also the Pakistani law and the government, the system structures of the government changed, so we have to adapt that also. And but I think it's very important also because through sport we can help young people, and young people are the future of the country, of course, and of both countries. And it's very good that our children or our young people can relate with each other, can have a healthy life, and so that's, and also they can use their skills. They can have someone to help them develop their skills, like in football, because they are we have also very good football schools.
Has a best name in the world in football, and by the way, it's right now EU champion.
European champion, yes, you have good, because also of course we had always everybody plays football when he's young, and after only the best come up, but there are these football schools, they are combined with the normal teaching, so they go to school, and after they go to football schools, and of course they have very good coaching. They are very competitive also, because any who gets in there thinking I will be the best in the world, I want to be the best, like also Cristiano Ronaldo attended one of these schools, and so everyone wants to be, and I think it's really very good, and I'm sure that many young Pakistanis could be a Cristiano Ronaldo or any other good player in the world. So they should have this opportunity, and you should cooperate on that they have this kind of training. This is a very demanding training, but they will be up to that, and they'll get there, of course. So it is something very important. Area should develop.
Parallel to the sports, would you like to mention some international universities, standard universities in Portugal, if Pakistani students would like to go for the studies?
Actually, we have, although we have this problem also to going to Portugal, sometimes it's difficult to, but we have more Pakistanis studying there than I knew, and then you can think. So there are, if you go here to Pakistani universities, even in Islamabad, you'll find some professors that studied in Portugal and made a PhD there, normally in the science areas or in IT or for example, we have, so there are, and the Pakistani students there, they are very much appreciated because they are bright, intelligent, good, very good working people, and they are good, the good colleagues. So everything that I heard about Pakistan is there were good things. And of course, for example, this year there are also several possibility of scholarships that you can find also in the site, the embassy site, and it can be developed also. But also,
you mean Portuguese embassy also offers scholarship for students?
No, not the embassy, but Portuguese institution.
Okay, institutions. Okay.
You go to the site in English also. There is the news about that.
Would you like to mention the names of some universities?
No, the universities they can choose this because normally are scientific institutions who offer this for research or a PhD, or so there are several, and well, I don't know, and but also what I think is that this we should develop. So normally there are Pakistanis invited to conferences there. They are invited by Portuguese institutions. No, normally there's a great number of that. Yeah, some young people, even in philosophy. The other day, there was to attend to give a conference on philosophy, and so they are. What I think we should reinforce is this contact cooperation between universities. This because it turns it easy. It's not one Pakistani that wants to go to Portugal, but this university certifies this student. You would be interested in having him there, and that will help him to be invited there. So it's more institutional that we need more. But of course, they are, and I can say just an example. The other day I went here to the Barry University. There was a conference on IT, and there was they invited a Portuguese professor, and he was also to give a lecture there. And also he told me that I didn't know. In my university is not one of it's well known, but is not in the main cities, and is dedicated, was focused more in IT on IT. And only in my department I have 30 Pakistanis working with me. PhD researchers, and all of them very good. So that's.
Is there any package for the journalists as well?
Probably yes. We have also this kind of universities.
Is there any sort of a relaxation for the students to go over in getting visa or something like that if they get admission in those universities?
No, well, actually, I would say there's no relaxation because the law is the law, and the followed law. What happens? And if, because it is information, if of course people who issue the visas are more informed, have a better information, of course it's easier to issue the visa, and that is happening. They working together with universities there, and probably also with universities here, checking what's what was the skills of the potential of the student. It would certifying the studies he made, and of course that is opening, widening the spectrum of students going there.
Okay, lastly, would you like to comment on current Pakistani situation?
The current
Pakistani situation.
Well, I think it's very peaceful. Very peaceful. I think you have your constitution, you follow your constitution. You show that you follow your constitution, and of course these political transitions and completely normal in democratic countries. So I think I don't see any. So it's so smooth that I think is an example. I don't say.
Any message for Pakistan?
I think sometimes the Pakistanis should. Pakistanis should. They're getting more well known abroad. The other day, I went in Lisbon. I was with my 11-year-old son, and we went to a coffee shop. And in the menu there was lassi and mango lassi, and so among you have Coca. So Pakistani drinks, Pakistani foods, Pakistani culture is becoming well known, internationalized, and I think you should work more on that.
Thank you very much, Excellency. This was Mr. João Paulo Sabido Costa, Chargé d'Affaires of the Portugal.